South China Sea churns black beneath a moonless sky. No radar signature, no engine noise, just the whisper of composite rotors slicing through salt air at 200 feet. Then another and another. Within 90 seconds, 300 autonomous drones materialize from darkness. Some no larger than footballs, others carrying payloads that could cripple a destroyer. They don't fly in formation, they swarm. Algorithmic coordination pulses through encrypted mesh networks as artificial intelligence calculates attack vectors faster than human thought. The Chinese Type 052D destroyer's air defense radar sweeps empty sky. Her crew doesn't know they're being hunted by a force that costs less than a single interceptor, but carries firepower to end this engagement before it starts. This isn't science fiction. This is Replicator. 1432 hours, August 28, 2023. Defense Innovation Unit, Mountain View, California. Deputy Secretary Kathleen Hicks faces a crisis. China is building the largest military since World War II. More ships than the US Navy. The PLA tripled its submarine fleet in a decade. Chinese shipyards produce destroyers at 5 times American rates, launching vessels in 18 months that take the US 5 years. In the Taiwan Strait across the first island chain, sheer mass threatens to overwhelm American technological superiority. Traditional solutions can't match China's industrial capacity. America cannot outbuild Beijing ship for ship. Hicks unveils Replicator with a deadline that sounds impossible. Field multiple thousands of attritable autonomous systems across all domains by August 2025. Not prototypes, operational weapons, deployed to combatant commands, ready to fight. The strategic imperative: make PRC leadership decide today is not the day for aggression, because American swarms can saturate defenses and survive where manned platforms can't. Deterrence through mass asymmetry. Replicator isn't one weapon, it's an industrial ecosystem producing autonomous capability at commercial scale. The first tranche includes the Switchblade 600, a loitering munition proven in Ukraine. AeroVironment's kamikaze drone costs 1/10 of a Javelin, but delivers precision strike from 40 kilometers, 40-minute loiter time, 10-pound warhead, battlefield-proven lethality at fraction cost. The Army adds company-level quadcopters, Anduril's Ghost X and Performance Drone Works C-100, giving every infantry company organic reconnaissance without dedicated aviation support. Each weighs under 5 pounds, provides 30 minutes flight time, transmits encrypted video to handheld controllers. Company commanders gain eyes over the next ridgeline without requesting battalion assets. At sea, the Prime program received over 100 proposals for unmanned surface vessels, capable of autonomous navigation, targeting, and coordination. These AI-driven platforms operate for days without human input, forming screening lines while manned ships remain beyond missile range. Marines field Altius 600 loitering drones and WISP counter-drone systems integrated into ground-based air defense networks. Every domain, every service, thousands of autonomous systems flowing to units within 24 months. But hardware alone doesn't win wars. Replicator's second tranche funds software enabling true swarm behavior. Resilient command systems letting hundreds of drones coordinate in GPS-denied, jammed environments. Machine learning algorithms trained on millions of simulations enable autonomous target recognition, evasive maneuvering, and collaborative tactics. These systems don't follow pre-programmed routes. They adapt, they learn. They swarm with emergent intelligence no individual drone possesses. The genesis traces to Ukraine, where drone strikes account for 70% of casualties in some sectors. Russia produces over 5,000 Shahed-type munitions annually from one factory. Alabuga doubled output to 10,000 in 2024's first 9 months. China dominates 80% of global commercial drone markets and could retool civilian production lines to generate hundreds of millions of military drones. America historically lags in small drone production, trapped by acquisition bureaucracy, taking years to field what adversaries deploy in months. Hicks partnered with Defense Innovation Unit to shatter that model. Commercial solutions openings instead of traditional RFPS, prototype testing in weeks rather than years, production contracts to 75% non-traditional contractors. 500 companies submitted proposals, 31 prime contracts. The industrial base isn't just Lockheed and Northrop anymore, it's Anduril, Epirus, Shield AI, startups leveraging commercial manufacturing speed and software-driven iteration. $500 million secured in fiscal year 2024. Another $500 million requested for fiscal year 2025. Revolutionary in what it proves. The Pentagon can move at commercial speed when survival demands it. Taiwan Strait, 2027. Chinese amphibious forces, mass for invasion. Type 075 landing helicopter docks carrying Marines. Type 052D destroyers providing air defense with HHQ-9 surface-to-air missiles. J-20 stealth fighters flying combat air patrol overhead. American carriers operate beyond the first island chain, held at bay by DF-21D and DF-26 anti-ship ballistic missiles with ranges exceeding 1,000 nautical miles. Traditional doctrine requires penetrating integrated air defenses with manned fighters and bombers. Costly, risky, potentially catastrophic if operations fail. Replicator changes the equation entirely. At 0320 hours, swarms launch from dispersed locations across the theater. Marine littoral combat teams on forward islands release first waves. Air Force cargo aircraft operating beyond missile range drop palletized systems. Navy destroyers transiting international waters fire from vertical launch cells. 300 autonomous drones converge on the invasion fleet from multiple vectors simultaneously. Chinese radar operators track the approaching swarm, but face impossible mathematics. Their interceptors cost millions per shot, each American drone perhaps $50,000. Fire everything, deplete magazines completely, and more drones keep coming, because the industrial base can replace losses faster than China reloads launchers. The lead elements aren't carrying warheads, they're decoys, saturating sensors and drawing fire. Behind them, Switchblade 600s identify high-value targets using AI-enabled vision systems trained to recognize ship superstructures and radar arrays. A Type 075's phased array disappears in explosive flash. Secondary explosions ripple through superstructure as fuel lines rupture. Altius 600s strike fuel trucks and ammunition dumps staging on beaches. Ghost X quadcopters relay precision coordinates to HIMARS batteries 200 kilometers inland, enabling rocket artillery that craters landing zones before assault waves reach shore. The Chinese fleet faces a choice with no good answers. Continue into drone hellscape, where every ship risks mission kill damage, or withdraw and abandon invasion timelines. Their air defenses excel against manned aircraft and cruise missiles. But swarms operating below radar horizons, communicating through jam-resistant mesh networks, attacking from unpredictable directions? That's a problem no existing doctrine solves. The engagement ends without American pilots entering hostile airspace. Replicator drones attrit invasion forces, impose prohibitive costs, force enemy commanders to reconsider whether objectives justify the mounting price. This is deterrence through autonomous mass. Warfare that achieves strategic effects without risking irreplaceable lives. Behind every drone stands an American worker whose expertise cannot be replicated overnight. At AeroVironment's Simi Valley facility, technicians assemble Switchblade munitions using precision manufacturing refined over decades, producing tactical UAV systems. Anduril's engineers in Costa Mesa write autonomy algorithms, letting Ghost X quadcopters navigate GPS-denied environments using visual inertial odometry. Performance Droneworks employs 50 people in Grand Forks, North Dakota, a company that didn't exist 3 years ago, now supplying reconnaissance drones to Army infantry battalions worldwide. Over 500 commercial firms touched Replicator's first 2 tranches, 31 prime contracts for major systems. More than 50 serve as subcontractors, providing sensors, batteries, communication systems, machine learning frameworks. The initiative deliberately engaged non-traditional defense contractors to rebuild America's atrophied capacity for producing affordable autonomous systems at the scale modern conflict demands. Admiral Christopher Grady, Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, stated the vision clearly. Replicator is helping us jumpstart delivery of critical capabilities at scale. We will build on that momentum and remove barriers to doing so again and again. This isn't a one-time program, it's a new acquisition model. Iterate rapidly, field operationally, learn from feedback, improve continuously, repeat on 18-month cycles instead of decade-long programs that deliver obsolete capabilities. Strategic implications ripple through every contingency plan. If swarms prove effective, force structure shifts fundamentally. The Air Force might procure fewer manned platforms if autonomous wingmen multiply each fighter's lethality fivefold. The Navy could field smaller surface combatants surrounded by unmanned vessels, providing distributed sensors and magazine depth. Ground forces gain organic precision fires and reconnaissance without additional personnel straining recruitment. But Replicator faces profound challenges. Technical hurdles around swarming autonomy and electromagnetic resilience remain partially unsolved. America depends on Asian suppliers for batteries and circuit boards, creating supply chain vulnerabilities. Congressional funding beyond initial tranches isn't guaranteed, especially if results disappoint or timelines slip significantly. Most critically, can American industrial capacity scale fast enough when China manufactures electronics at rates US factories cannot match? Michael Hyatt's assessment is blunt. We can't keep up with China on drones. They're better at producing cheap electronics than we are. Replicator might field several thousand systems by 2025. But if China produces millions using repurposed civilian infrastructure, the mass advantage flips back to Beijing. This is the strategic bet. $500 million committed immediately, more following if concepts prove viable, rebuilding industrial capacity while racing against adversaries who've prepared decades for exactly this asymmetric warfare. Deputy Secretary Hicks called Replicator a referendum on Pentagon leadership, testing whether the Department of Defense can break free from acquisition paralysis and deliver capabilities at the speed modern competition demands. The swarms are coming to the battlefield. The question isn't whether autonomous warfare arrives, it's whether America leads that transformation or follows adversaries who moved faster. So here's what matters. Would you double down on Replicator's mass autonomous approach, accepting the risks of partially proven technology and uncertain industrial constraints, or hedge by maintaining traditional platforms while developing swarms as supplements? The Pentagon is making that choice right now, and the answer determines who owns tomorrow's battlefield and whether deterrence holds when crisis comes. This is DIB Dispatch, where billion-dollar projects meet battlefield reality.